What's up, everybody? I know it's been a while. I've been pretty busy, but I'm back and I'm here to give you a quick review of Logic's new mixtape, Welcome to Forever. And I do mean quick because this mixtape is 20 tracks long and there's no way I'm going through it track by track by track by track by track by track by track just to make sure you guys get the full outlook on every single thing going on with this album, man. That's not what I'm doing with my reviews. So if you want a track by track review type of shit, go somewhere else. All I'm doing is basically listen to an album 4 or 5 times and then giving you my opinion about what I thought of the album as a whole. Moving right ahead, I was impressed with this mixtape. I had never really listened to this kid before. I've heard of him, heard a lot of people talking about Logic. That's why I decided to do the review, so thank you to the people for putting me on to him. I like when people just say, do a review of this, do a review of that, check this kid out. And I did, and I like it. I gotta say, right from the start I was impressed. The first song, Welcome to Forever, really showed me that this kid wasn't bullshitting. He's lyrical, the beat is really chill, he touches on a lot of subjects, he has punchlines, and he sounds natural, you know what I mean? Through the whole album, he sounds natural. That doesn't seem like a forced mixtape. Like, there's not a lot of obvious features. He didn't just go and get Rick Ross to do a song on a trap beat. He didn't go and get Wiz Khalifa to do a weed song. He didn't go and get French Montana to make a shitty song, because obviously that's what it would be if French Montana was on it. Review of his album is coming soon. But anyway, the only thing I gotta say about this kid is he sounds quite a bit like Drake. You know, it's not necessarily his fault. Sometimes people just sound alike when they rap. It's not one of those situations where it's forced. Like, it's not like when Death Row had that guy, you might remember his name was Top Dog, and he sounded like Snoop. Like, they did that shit purposely. And then there was No Limit had a guy named Crazy who sounded like Tupac. And then there's that guy, The Realist, who sounds like Tupac and looks like Tupac. It's not on that type of shit. He just happens to have the same sort of tone and voice, and they do the same type of music. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to see if, as this kid progresses, if he'll sort of set himself apart from Drake in some types of ways. Because right now he kind of just has a very similar sound, you know. He does the sing-songy thing. He's a good rapper. He has a lot of mellow and chill beats. But I'm not hating on him for that, you know. Like, it's the whole album is very solid. There's not really any filler on it. A couple of songs to mention. On the song Roll Call, he raps on the Miss Jackson beat. The Outkast song, Miss Jackson, if you're wondering. I don't think there's any other songs called Miss Jackson that I can think of, but he's on that beat, and he really does a good job on it, which that impressed me because that's a classic beat to even dare to get on that, especially with what they did. I mean, Outkast, they took that beat and tore it apart. Like, it was a hit song. It was a classic. It had a very different sound, very original. He got on there, and he did his thing. He hung on that beat. He was really good. I was impressed with him on that. Coming back to the thing where I said he sounds like Drake, on the songs Break It Down and Life is Good, that's where you'll notice it the most, especially on the song Life is Good, which was actually one of my favorite songs on the album because it just has a mellow vibe. I always like the mellow vibe type of songs, but he sounds just like Drake on it. If someone played that song for me and said, this is that new Drake, I might, question it a bit because he doesn't sound exactly the same. I might be like, are you really, for sure? But if they pushed me and said, yeah, that's that new Drake, I'd probably say, okay, that sounds good, I like it. So, again, he does kind of sound like him. A couple features to mention. John Witherspoon is on there for a skit. Of course, playing a dad. He always plays a dad. That's what he does. He always plays a funny dad. And he's pretty funny on that skit. Trinidad James is on there with one of the worst verses you will ever hear. He is constantly outdoing himself with these verses. I don't understand the Trinidad James phenomenon at all. I mean, good for him. He's making money. I can't hate on someone for being successful, but I don't get this shit at all. Like, are there people who are actually going, oh shit, I gotta get that new Trinidad James. Did you hear that Trinidad James verse? It is fire. Does that happen? Probably does, because you know what? I'm looking at some of the old reviews I've done, like the Tyga review, my Lil Wayne review. People like all this shit. And the fans of the shit that I hate are the craziest. You know what I mean? I noticed that you'll notice a rapper is shitty because their fans will just insult you. They won't try to talk to you about it and be logical and defend them and say, actually, this is why we listen to them. They just say, fuck you, you're gay, you're broke, blah, blah. Anyway, that's a little side tangent. Let's get back to this album. A couple tracks that didn't fit on there. The one with Trinidad James was called On the Low. That song and Ballin', he's just rapping on trap beats, so it kind of feels out of place because the whole album has a very smooth hip-hop sort of feel to it, but I can't hate on him for doing that because a lot of people like that type of shit. Those two songs might draw people to the album and make them like some of the other tracks, but they still just felt sort of out of place, you know what I mean? It'd be like if you were listening to a Titty Boy album, 2 Chainz album, sorry, and all of a sudden there was like a DJ Premier beat on there, and 2 Chainz was just doing like some real hip-hop shit, and it featured Nas or something, you know what I mean? Like, you'd like that, That'd be interesting to hear, actually. Could you imagine that shit? But anyway, it would just be out of place. It's just not what you expect. The standout tracks, Welcome to Forever, the very first song, like I said, it's a great song. It sets the tone for the album. Just a Man, 9 to 5. These tracks, he really shines on. He shines on tracks where he's rapping on just a mellow hip-hop type of beat. Just some nice drums, smooth sound effects, just really chill shit. That's where he is at his best. So I gotta say, I respect the kid. There's a couple times he mentions, classic rappers from the 90s. He talks about respecting the craft of hip-hop, so I respect him for that, because he's not just out there trying to make bullshit rap to make money like a lot of people are doing. It seems like he really loves hip-hop, it seems like, and he's trying to make real music for himself that other people will like, because he touches on, real-life subjects. He's a light-skinned guy. A couple times he talks about how people just call him white boy, or they fuck with him because of his race, because he's biracial, but he just looks like he's white. So he touches on some real subjects too. He's not all punchlines and just clever shit. He does talk about his struggle and how he's making it and where he wants to go from here. So I respect the kid. I think he's got a bright future. Hopefully, like I said, maybe he can set himself apart from just, that Drake sort of sound, because we already got Drake, but there's already a couple other people who are doing that shit. But I'm not hating on him. It's good. I give the album a 4 out of 5. I recommend it to anyone, really, to check it out. If you like Drake, if you like just that type of shit, but he's not overly R&B, don't get me wrong. He's not singing all through this shit like Drake does. Like, he's not dancing with butterflies or anything, but, he does do that sing-songy thing, and he sounds like Drake when he does, and his voice and tone kind of sounds like Drake. Anyway, 4 out of 5, Logic, Young Sinatra, Welcome to Forever, check it out, you won't regret it. Got some more reviews coming up soon. I'm going to do French Montana, excuse my French. Oh, I can't wait for that. I just looked at the track listing today, and it's like, he's got 137 features on it, I think, so it'll be interesting to see how this is. I might do Kid Cudi's last album. A couple people have asked me to do that. Any other albums or mixtapes you want me to do, just let me know. I'll do my best. I've been really busy lately, but I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. So thank you for watching this. Check out my other reviews on my channel. Got a bunch of other videos on my channel. Subscribe. La 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 la. See you later.